After years of entertaining the idea of life near the sea, Nicola and Gary moved east, where an immediate sense of home and history welcomed them and their golden retriever turned local celebrity Ace. But first, we'll visit Sherry, who believes life is truly precious. This realization led her to live more intentionally and head to the coast in search of the waterside cottage she'd always dreamed of.
Yeah, maybe you should come home. You've been saying it for so long. Let the water lift you from the city's undertow. Yeah, maybe you should come home.
Water, deep, flowing, mysterious, ever-changing yet constant, the inspiration of artists and adventurers. It's the foundation of life. We are drawn to it, to watch it, listen to it, immerse ourselves, and for those who choose, to live beside it.
Maybe you should come home.
My name is Sherry, and we're here on the Petite River in Crosstown, Nova Scotia, in this beautiful little house called Heron's Rest. When I was in my early 30s, I got kidney cancer, and at the time I was living in Toronto, and it started me thinking about wanting to be someplace else, closer to my roots as a child in the country, someplace slower. I thought I would investigate the East Coast. I looked for 2 years for the house. There's a lot of diversity here in terms of what you can buy and where it's located and what's around it. So I spent a lot of time looking, and then this place found me. I was on an email list and I saw the pictures and I felt it right away. The light in the house and something about it just drew me. So I came to have a look and didn't want to leave. I liked it here. It was felt like home from the very first time. I never really looked back after I came, and it was just, this is where I wanted to be, and I started doing volunteer work, and then I went to school here to learn diesel mechanics, and then started working for the Coast Guard. Water, I think, has always been a part of my life. As a kid, I lived on a farm, and we would go across our neighbor's field into the inlet and spend days with our ponies or on our own, fishing and swimming and doing all the things that kids do. And so it's always been a special thing for me to be near the water. There's something about being on water that just speaks really deeply to me. When you first come in the front door of the cottage, you're in a little entranceway, and if you go up a step, you go into the bathroom. We just renovated the bathroom last year and put in a nice rain shower head, which I'd always wanted, so that's a nice little addition. From there, you go back into the entranceway and you come into the living room. I think the living room is my favorite room. This gorgeous window lets in so much light and definitely contributes to that feeling of being in a treehouse. There's also light that comes in from the skylight up above. Some times of the year, the Milky Way comes across, and sometimes you'll get the Big Dipper sitting right in the window, which is kind of fun to watch the stars. From there, you would go into the kitchen. It's a small kitchen, but really functional. The person who built the house was a boat builder, carpenter, and so he really knew how to use space well. From the other side of the living room, you would go into the bedroom, which is on the dark side of the house. The light comes in through the living room, so it's a really nice place to sleep with the ambient sound of the river behind it. One of the things I did change was the wood stove. One of the challenges with the old wood stove was that you couldn't really see the fire. And so I looked around for one like this with a very large view plane. And it's just, I don't know, adds to the coziness. And, company, companionship, you know, all of that. It's a really lovely feature. There's something about this house. We don't have a television, so people come here and they spend time with each other. I think that's unusual for some people. A lot of people sort of gravitate towards large spaces to live in, but one of the things that I learned here is that small spaces like this kind of hold you. They hold your energy and they support you. I have chronic fatigue, and so for 2 years, I spent 18 hours a day sleeping here. It just allowed me to rest and just held me. When you arrive at the property, you come down a long driveway, down a hill, and you see the front door of the house, and behind it, you see the river flowing. You can walk down a set of stairs on the far side, and that brings you up along the property. You'll come to the rapids and this beautiful rock that juts out into the water. Nice place to sit and meditate or just enjoy the scenery. It's a beautiful spot out there because it's right across from the rapids and you look upriver when you sit out there. It gives you the feeling like you're sitting in the middle of the river. When I got the property, it was all grass, and I decided I didn't want to cut grass on the side of a hill. So I started converting it into gardens, and I didn't really have a lot of background in gardening, but some people helped me and gave me plants, and slowly I learned what grew, where they liked it. The other thing I've done in the property is made it edible. So I have cherry trees and apple trees and berry bushes and a hazelnut tree and a peach tree. And I get about 200 peaches a year off that tree. Pretty amazing. I would never have thought that I could do that, but it's abundant. So it's nice to go and be in the garden with whatever's in season and to eat it directly from the vine or directly from the tree. But in truth, the animals get most of it. One of the things that I did to the property when I moved in is to create the pathways just so you could have a place to walk and wander. And so it's lovely to walk along the path and just check in on the plants and to see how they're doing and smell the leaves and look at the flowers and get to know them. I really like the view from the deck. You know, it's nice to go down by the river, but it's also nice to be able to just walk out of the house and be on the deck and hear the river and see it. Yeah, I feel pretty honored to have a space like this, my own little sanctuary in nature. I never would have thought that I would get something like this when I left Toronto, but it's the perfect space for me. I feel that this place, it's not that I have it, it's that I'm the caretaker. A friend gave me a book called Noah's Garden, and it was a story about a woman who started making formal gardens and found that if you work with nature, you keep the insects coming. The insects attract other insects who eat them, and then the birds come because there's insects for them to eat. And so you start to create an ecosystem. I'm here to keep it up and to work on the gardens, to create space for the wild animals and the insects and everything. One of the things that we like to do is take the apples from the tree and make some Heron's Rest applesauce. It's pretty simple. It was one of the magical things I learned when I came to Nova Scotia is to make applesauce, because you just basically cut it up, cores and everything, and put it in a pot with a little bit of water until it dissolves into applesauce. And then you can it. No sugar, you don't have to add sugar, and it's delicious just the way it is. Simple, from the land. There's a lot of driftwood on the property. My partner and I do wilderness camping every year for a few weeks. In the area that we go to, there's a lot of driftwood, and so I'm always dragging it home. to go in the garden, just like little sculptures that nature made. I really love them. I like living on a river. Yeah, there's definitely an energy in the water that people are drawn to. They say that rapids creates negative ions, which are supposed to be really good for us. You know, the river carries away a lot. You know, it just keeps things moving, keeps the energy moving, and makes it a nice place to spend time and just sort of let go of the world and have it washed away. I've spent the last few years fixing it up, redoing the decks, redoing the roof, fixing up things that might need to be done in the future. But in terms of changing the property, I can't really see any changes. I'm happy with the way I found this place. It was right from the very beginning, and I have no desire to make big changes to it. More plants, maybe. I'd have a hard time leaving, saying goodbye to it. I'd have to know that if I was going to sell it, that somebody would take care of it, that it wouldn't be just about money, or it would have to be somebody that wanted to steward the property in the future. But ultimately, I would actually love to give it to one of my sons and have them enjoy the property, keep it in the family. And I think a property like this is kind of a one of a kind, you know, a big space on a river, particularly since the other side of the river isn't developed. You know, it is truly a little sanctuary. Home is the place where you can be yourself, the place where you're held in your journey in life, that you're supported when things don't go according to plan, as they always do in everyone's life. And that's that feeling of home, that safe place where it's just okay to be.
We both come from the same county, which is called Hertfordshire. She comes from the posh end, I come from the other end.
We lived there I was born and brought up there, and then we moved 2004 into Canada, moved to Canada. We moved to Ottawa, we were there for 18 years.
And we wanted to come out east for a long time, and we wanted to live by the sea. And when this opportunity came, we just took it.
We wanted to be on the East Coast, we wanted to be by the ocean, and being able to walk on the beaches is huge. Being able to walk, take the dog for a walk, swim, whatever.
As soon as we drove into Lunenburg, Nikki got very emotional. It was always what she ever wanted. I knew that it was job done.
You've definitely got a community feel in Lunenburg, and it's pretty special for that.
She was home.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be home as soon as we walked in the door.
Yeah.
Had that really nice warm fuzzy feeling, and she had a smile on her face, and I knew we'd arrived. So that to me, that was the biggest thing, that she was happy.
It's an old home. I love homes with history, and this home is nearly 200 years old, and it's pretty much perfect. It's old, it's quaint, it's weird, wonky floors, everything rolls around.
It was a Swiss captain that came here. This is the only original purpose-built duplex in Lunenburg, way back in the day. And he lived in this house, and his sister lived in the other side. And this house has a long and varied history.
So the main entrance for this house is actually the side door. Rarely is the front door used. Should you come through the front door, you'll notice it's a beautiful front door that's actually on one of the posters for Lunenburg. But we'll go through as if we're going through the side door. Come into the side door, you walk straight into the dining area.
The heart of this house is the living room and dining room, where we are now. It's where we spend most of our time.
It's not staged, it's not like everybody else's. You walk into this house and you know you're in a Jewish house. When you walk into the dining room, you'll notice the kitchen in front of you. It's tiny, but it's very workable. Produced dinner for 10 people. If you can do that in a kitchen that size, it's quite a miracle. Upstairs is the bathroom, the guest bedroom, and you go through to a second bedroom. It's only a 2-bedroom property, and then you go up some very narrow stairs up to the attic, which is completed. Scoot back downstairs and you go down into the basement area. It's a walkout basement and a bar.
We've called the Cock and Anchor. For our soccer team in London, the cockerel is the mascot. Our 2 sons came out with the idea of calling it the Cock and Anchor, the cockerel, and obviously the anchor to represent the Maritimes. That's my domain, and that's why I really like to chill out.
For me, it was creating a family home where the boys could come home. That's my ultimate. I'm a mum, that's what we do. So the living room area had to be the area where we could sit comfortably. It's not a huge room, but we wanted to be able to sit comfortably. So for me, that was it.
To be fair, all the painting in this room was done by Nikki. I made that sacrifice and let her do it. Really, no, I haven't actually done anything to it, apart from obviously my favourite room, the Cock and Anchor downstairs.
With the views, we've got the Velux windows overlooking the harbour, views looking over the Ironworks distillery, and then the views at the front of the property. You have to live in a house for, I think personally, almost a year to realise what the seasons are like. So you don't know a house until you've lived in it throughout all 4 seasons. The exterior of the house is stained siding with green and kind of a red features. There's balustrades, there's deck railings, there's scrollwork. It's different to every other house. There isn't another house in Lunenburg these colours.
We're in the heritage part of the town, and we tried to keep the original character. That's probably what I like the most. And as Nikki already said, we keep the same colours, stain it rather than paint it because of the salt from the sea. We've had some good storms here. Yeah, I think it's purely the charm and the history. Again, combination of both. I mean, for me, the front door, the old oak original door is great. It's history. That's classic.
Yeah, we've changed the majority of the windows. They were old wooden windows that really needed pieces of wood to keep them up. We've painted, repainted the deck, the spindles on the deck. Doesn't look very much, takes an awful long time. We've got restaining to do in the next year. There's some work to do, but not too much.
Also, it's important to note that we kept the same style of window.
You have to keep the same style, so they have to be, the openers are not opening out, they have to be sliders.
Keep the character of the
under
house.
heritage rules. Lunenburg is under UNESCO. So if you want to change anything to the exterior of the property, you need authority from Lunenburg Council to fit in line with UNESCO. I love the fact that there's a big wraparound porch and the deck. The deck is private for us because we're up higher and people can't see us. My favourite view from this property is the ocean from the deck. That's the thing.
I thought your most amazing view was me.
Of you, darling, yes.
Yeah, okay.
My second favourite view is the ocean.
Hurt my feelings. The deck for me, I can relate to being in a private box in a theatre. You see everything that goes on that comes in and leaves the bay. We can see the golfers across the water. We can hear all sorts of conversations with people on the boats. For me, sitting on the deck, it's such a busy location. It's just lovely, and again, certain times of day with the wildlife, when it all comes out, there's always something going on, and that's what it's busy.
Ace is our golden retriever. He's 10 and a half. He actually belongs to our son. Ace is the result of our son having an incident of peritonitis and spent a month in hospital, in Children's Hospital when he was 12. We promised him anything as long as he got better. And he drew a picture of a dog. And everybody loves him and he's well known. Everybody knows Ace. We've now got a sign up because everybody was asking, and what's your name? So we have a sign. Who are you? This is Ace. He's very well known.
And the amount of tourists that stop and fuss him and spoil. But again, that's part of the charm, and it gives us an opportunity to speak to people. So it's a win-win.
Being by the water just brings fresh air. You feel like you're in touch with nature because you can just sit here and you hear the waves lapping up, and you feel quite, I don't know what the word is.
I get quite emotional.
At peace, I would say, yeah.
Living by the water here is great because it's so busy with boat traffic, and that's what I really enjoy. See what's doing. Every day brings something new. We get an unusual ship or boat come in. I'm very quickly researching it, and yeah, especially with the fishing boats. That's what I like. It's with the lobster boats.
If I think, I don't actually know how I fill my time, but I always manage to fill my time. I'm a homebody. I absolutely love curling up with a book, watching a movie, just sitting on the deck, enjoying being outside.
I love my English soccer, but I watch any sport. You know, the Cock and Anchor down in my bar downstairs. I have my, obviously, TV, especially with sports on all the time.
So we watch TV, we watch films, we watch documentaries, you name it. That's our winter things. That's our nighttime and winter things. We're not in here during the day, so we're outside. You have to make the most of the weather when you've got it.
Because everybody knows everybody, and it's a classic small town. And obviously in the summer it changes dramatically with the tourists, but it's a nice feeling. It's not an aggravation. It's a positive. Sometimes people will be taking photographs. They come on the deck, and they come on the back deck, and they're just blown away with the view. We like to share what we've got, which is why we're doing this.
Yeah. Home to me means coming to a place where you feel comfortable, you feel settled, you can relax, you can be yourself. When you buy a property, when you walk into the home, you should have a feeling. I can't even say what it is. You have a gut reaction to a property, and if you don't have that right reaction, it's not the right home for you. And we absolutely got it here. Absolutely.
We've got no plans to change the house as it is now. Our immediate, most important plans is to keep it in the state it is now. We'll need some quite extensive painting next spring, and I think it's to code in this house because it's obviously original. So it's important to keep it like any house. You've got to keep it maintained. Rent some scaffold and do a proper paint job in the spring. That's got to be done. We're quite looking forward to that. But again, it's so important to keep the house in the standard it is.
I think we're really settled here. I think it's, I don't believe necessarily in forever homes because your circumstances change. As we get older, do we want to do the stairs? We don't have a bathroom on this main level. It's a consideration. I can't see us leaving Lunenburg. I think we're really settled here. So I think, I don't know because we love it so much, and that's some way down the road. I think it's, our home it suits our purpose at the moment, and that could be for several years or it could change. We don't know, but no, I don't see us moving for a long, long time.
I'd agree. The way we categorise our life is by chapters. Everything's a new chapter, and we've got, hopefully there's a long way before the book's finished.
Whether nestled alongside a riverbank or perched high above a distressed ocean, living on the shore has its perks. But beautiful views are only the beginning. The sights, sounds, and sensations of the water are constant in their impact, improving moods, perspectives, and lives. To exist and grow on its edge is extraordinary, an experience made even sweeter when shared with the people we love.